Hello and welcome to the first episode of PIM Walk Project Management Video of Knowledge. I have started this series to share my knowledge about project management processes. And if you watch these videos, they can help you clear your PMP exam. We are going to have 49 episodes, that is equivalent to 49 processes. So we are going to start today with the first, that is project charter. So let's start. And if you have any question, you can anytime ask me at the social media on which you are watching it. I'm going to upload it at Facebook, LinkedIn, and my YouTube channel. And at the end of the complete series, I'm also going to upload it at Udemy free of cost. So in order to understand project charter, let's have a look how basically it is created. Project charter is a formal document that authorizes the existence of a project. But things just not start at the project. They start before the project, that are known as pre-project activities. You identify a need. It can be a problem or opportunity. You can utilize SWOT analysis here: strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. And from that need assessment, you form a business case. Business case give us the feasibility study, how much it is feasible for us to avail this opportunity, and what are the other options available. We do alternate analysis, and we have high level risk, high level stakeholders at our hands. Once the business case is approved, having benefits in them, we make a special document known as benefit management plan. This benefit management plan gives us our target benefits, that why we want to start this project. Business case and benefit management plan become the initiator to start the project. Without having this document, we cannot start it. Business case and benefit management plan are generally made by business analyst, or we can term it as the PMO has made it, the steering committee, or even project's initiator or sponsor have made these documents. With these documents and along with organizational process assets. Organizational process assets are policies, procedure, lesson learned, knowledge base of your organization. Enterprise environmental factor, the environment in which the organizational take place, also comes as an input. It plays an initial role. It is also possible you also have other agreements, the organization. So those things also plays a role in the development of project charter. So basically you have a high level vision and you organize your project. You implement your plans with estimate risk and budget. It helps us in creating the project charter. Project charter has a vision in it, aligning it to the organizational strategy. It has finance in it. It has project structure in it. It defines the role of a project manager. It tells us how we are going to implement it. What are the major risks in the project? What are the issues, high level budget or the complete budget we have for the project? How to respond to the project? What are the major stakeholder? How we can close the project? All these things are in project charter. It has needs, requirement, assumption, stakeholder, milestone list. Milestone is anything that has a zero duration in the project and it has a significance. It can term as a start of the project and it can also term as the end of the project. Once you have made a project charter, it becomes output to many other processes. For example, you develop project charter and develop project charter, you get project charter and assumption log as output. So project charter becomes input to all the planning processes as develop plan, close projects, plan schedule, plan scope, collect requirement, and many other process. So this is very important to understand. The output of one process becomes the input of other processes. So this is the basically sample project charter. I will say that you can take a screenshot of this or you can download a template from internet. You have so many templates there, and make a project charter at the end of this class so that you can have a better understanding of it. And if you want to email me or show me to discuss that, you can always discuss it with me. So this is another sample project charter. This is another sample project charter taken from a Lean Six Sigma. Lean Six Sigma also utilize this to start their DMAIC methodology. DMAIC methodology. So let's start with a formal project chart. So the process of developing a document that formally authorizes existence of the project, and it provides project manager with the authority to apply organizational resources. Now those resources can be manpower, material, machinery, and money. The project, of course, the budget, scope, cost, time, all those things. Here is basically the high level planning for the project is occurring. The planning has started here. It establishes a basically relationship with the organization that are performing the work. Project manager is selected, the project is initiated, and sponsor write it. The person who is funding it, initiator or the sponsor, and most of the time that authority is external to the project. Now these are some of the ITTOs that we used in developing our project charter. These notes are designed in this way. These notes are arranged in this way that first we will study high level, then in detail. So let's see. In development of project charter, the major output is project charter. Whichever the process you are, always focus on the one major output. What is the one major output that you need from this process? Most of the time, that is the title of the process. In this case, develop project charter, so we get project charter. And you also see what are the one, two, or maximum three subsidiary output that are being built. If you can map that, you can get the complete process. For example, here we have project charter and assumption log. Now we see what we need in order to produce project charter. Business documents, business case benefit management plan. We already discussed that. Agreements, OPA, EF. Then we have some tools and technique, expert judgment and meeting. Interpersonal and team skill, conflict management, facilitation, brainstorming. Whenever you heard the word brainstorming, always remember idea generation technique. Focus group, pre-selected stakeholders. Interviews, you are trying to get some confidential information. You are having a spontaneous information to get the best knowledge out of that project. Enterprise environmental factor, business case, and agreements are extremely important inputs. Then we have the content of the project charter, which includes purpose, why the project is being done, justification, why we are doing this project and not other project, high level requirements, project descriptions. This has to be high level. What is the objective and how the success would look like? Summary of milestones. What is the main milestone? Start of the project, middle of the project, some end of the phases, maybe end of the project. What is the high level budget? How you can get the approval requirement? Project manager name is authority level. Now here we see what type of PMO we have. Is it controlling? That is authority is mixed, spotting. The project manager has more authority, directive, or PMO is directing this project. Name and authority of the sponsor. Now let's look in the detail notes. Project charter formally authorize a project. It gives project manager authority so that he can utilize organizational resource signed by project sponsor external authority. It provides link between the organization strategy. The organization project manager should be assigned as soon as possible because so that he can even may take part in the organization. In some of the organization, project manager really takes part in building of charter. Charter has business need, high level requirement, budget, high level risk, project manager assignment, and so many things. These are ITTOs. Let's look at all of these ITTOs. In this video, I'm going to explain all input tools and technique and output. But when we move along, for example, in the next video of develop project charter, we are not going to do in detail. We are just going to look at the techniques that are recurring, and we will only explain those techniques that are one-time techniques. So business document, business case, benefit management plan. These are the documents that help in building the case for project charter. Why the project charter is needed. We already discussed this thing. Business case is basically documenting feasibility, validity. What are the major reasons for having that project? Knowing the benefit, knowing the problem for the project. It is used as one of the basis to authorize the project work. Project charter is used as authorization to start the project, whereas business case is used as authorization to make project charter. So business analyst make it or project initiator, sponsor, stakeholder, depending upon the organization. But it is not in the authority of the project manager to change it. Some of the business case have business background, benefit, assumption and constraints, gap analysis, expected ROI, and things like this. So you can also have business present value. What is the present value project today? What will the future value? What will be the NPV, net present value, IRR, payback period, cost benefit analysis? Remember this thing. PMP exam will just ask you about these techniques. It will never ask you to calculate it. Even it asks you to calculate, the formulas are very easily and we will discuss them along the way. Then you have benefit management plan. It identifies the target benefit. It gives the strategic alignment to the organization, the time frame, the benefits owner, who are the basically owner of the benefits, metrics, assumptions, and risks. So you have agreements, service legal agreement, and things like that. You have enterprise environmental factor. Very important. Internal enterprise environmental factor and external EEF. In internal, you have organization culture, policies, structures, infrastructure, employee capability, stakeholder expectation, risk thresholder. In external EF, you have market condition, legal, regulatory requirement, government or industry standard. OPS are basically policies, procedures, and processes, the guideline, how to do the work. Basically, how to do the real work that you are doing in the process. Then you have organizational knowledge repositories, the configuration management, historical information, lesson learned, and so many more things. Let's look at tools and technique. Experts, experts from their major technical field, for example, industry expert, technical expert, project management expert, financial expert will come and give input according to the business case, according to the SWOT analysis. They will be consultants, subject matter expert, and other peoples. Then we have three techniques in data gathering: brainstorming, focus group, and interviews. Whenever you heard the word brainstorming, you should always remember this picture. The picture says that you get a new idea in your brain. It's an idea generation techniques. It is mostly time boxed. It can be in the form of maybe 8 to 9 people that are pre-selected, that is focus group, or it can be in a large group, that is it can be in a facilitated group. New ways are coming in the brainstorming, that people are getting brainstorming online in the form of surveys, that they give a time boxed maybe 15 to 30 minutes and they let the ideas flow from all the people, and in this way they implement this idea. Now there are two ways, basically major ways to use brainstorming. One way says that when the team comes, tell them a problem and let them give ideas. And you put all those ideas on sticky notes and post it on your post-it wall. The second way says that you tell the problem before and give the time to team to think about the solution and then let them come with the solution. Then we have a focus group. Basically, you can consider focus group as the next part, or maybe you can also consider brainstorming within the focus group. That pre-selected stakeholders are selected, maybe sponsor, steering committee, the high level people, the higher management, they come and they discuss the problem. It's if you are in uh, predictive environment, maybe construction phase, you may have a daily meeting. These are the people that goes into daily meeting or high level meetings. It can be procurement management, HR manager, HSC manager, admin manager, electrical manager, mechanical manager, civil manager, and people like this. Now, one of the most important thing to understand is stakeholders are pre-selected. It is led by a moderator and it has a fixed agenda. Because it has a fixed agenda, it also limits focus group. If there is any idea that is not in the focus group or brainstorming, you put it in the parking lot. Parking lot is used to discuss idea for future that are not the agenda in this meeting. Then you have interview. Whenever you heard word about interview, always remember it is used to get confidential information, and it can be open-ended question, close-ended question, and most of the time it is a spontaneous question. A person is talking, a question get, and then you make the flow. You need expert person to carry out the interview to get the confidential information. Otherwise, information can lost. Interviews can be recorded or not recorded depending upon the organizational assets. Maybe you have to take approval from the person whom you are interviewing to record it. And I would suggest it is unethical to record a interview without knowing the other person. So always, if you are doing interview, always record the permission of the person. If he gives the permission, then record. Otherwise, please don't record it because it is again the ethics of PMI. Then you have interpersonal and team skills in which you manage the conflict, you facilitate, you have a meeting agenda. Let's combine it with the meetings. Meeting management is one of the technique that you must utilize. And there are some processes. Step one, share the agenda at least 24 hours before the meeting. Share the agenda before 24 hours before the meeting. Always start the meeting on time. Have a parking lot to discuss the ideas that are not the part of agenda. Have someone as a scriber to write the points of the meeting. Write minutes of meeting within the meeting and get it signed from the stakeholders or the persons that are present in the meeting. Maybe take a picture or snapshot from the mobile and put it in the meeting so that it becomes records who has attended the meeting. Then at the end of the meeting, share MM with everyone. Then ask your scriber, or even if you're a project manager, you can summarize all those points and send the to the higher authority, because most of the time senior people don't have time to read all the points. They can read it from there. So this way you can control the meeting in one of the best way. Then outputs are project charter and assumption log. Again, we are repeating this thing again and again. Why? Because I believe repetition is the mother of success. Without repeating things, you cannot understand, and you have to repeat them so that you can pass in your PMP exam. So we get what is the purpose of the this project charter: justification, measurable objectives, high level requirement, description, risk, milestone, budget, stakeholders, sponsor, responsibility, and then we get assumption list. Assumption log is very important because here we are making project charter. We are assuming that the project manager will stay till the end of the project. We are assuming that the key resource will be available. We are assuming so many things. Anything that is not proven to be true is considered as assumption, and assumption must be recorded within the project and assumption log. So we studied all these things, and I hope you don't waste your time on other things and you spend efficient time the things that you want to learn and you want to master. That's all from today masterclass. And I hope you have understand project charter in detail. Always remember project charter that you just have produced. It will become inputs to many projects and it will be utilized there. Project charter is the document that also goes into closing the of project or phase. So it is very important to get a proper understanding. And Since exam extremely depends on initiation and execution, out of 5 domains, you need to clear at least 3 to 4 domains. I would say you should target 5 above targets in all the domains. So you need to score maximum in the project charter, then identify stakeholder, then close the project. Give special attention to this topic. We will see you tomorrow with develop project management. Thank you very much for listening. And if you have anything that you want I should answer or you want me to improve, please let me know. Thank you very much.